movie of all time. The makeup, the costumes.
No, Your Highness.
The special effects. The secrets from the set, straight from the stars.
I was like, wow, I have to do this.
From all the toys to Hollywood's famous faces talking about the film.
We'll definitely go.
To all the frenzied fans.
We are the dorks of the century.
E.T.'s Leonard Maltin has seen the movie, and he's there for the first reactions.
Non-stop.
Behind the scenes and inside the studio with George Lucas for everything you wanted to know about Star Wars.
This is Entertainment Tonight, the most watched entertainment news program in the world.
Here are all the latest Star Wars stories for this full-force Mother's Day weekend edition of Entertainment Tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Bob Goen, and yeah, it is the mother of all movies, Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And E.T.'s Leonard Maltin is one of the lucky few who have seen it.
That's right, Bob. I've just come out of the first screening of the most anticipated movie, not only of this year, but maybe of any year. It's been more than 15 years since the last Star Wars movie, but I can tell you it was worth the wait.
Fantastic. Just fantastic.
Non-stop. Non-stop. Non-stop.
There was a lot more action in it than in all the others, and that's why I liked it more.
22 years after its launch, Star Wars returns to its outer space origins. Young Anakin Skywalker, who will become Darth Vader, must save the planet Naboo. Guiding him are two Jedi Knights, including Obi-Wan Kenobi, played by Ewan McGregor. Liftoff is still a week and a half away, but special audiences in Los Angeles and New York were treated to a sneak preview that sent them into orbit.
I got an invite.
It's fantastic. Good special effects, good story. Lives up to the originals.
They're gonna love it. They're gonna go nuts. It was amazing.
A lot of action, a lot of noise. It was cool.
The screenings were for film industry folks and their families, but one ticket went to LA Laker Shaquille O'Neal, who says the film's success is a slam dunk. What'd you think of it?
I think it was an excellent movie. I think Mr. Lucas did a fabulous job. Special effects were wonderful, and the storyline was wonderful. And I'm gonna probably come back and watch it a couple more times.
The rest of Hollywood is counting down, eager for another visit to that galaxy far, far away.
All the movies kicked ass. I mean, I just can't wait to see the other one.
Of course, my children would love to see it, and of course I'll go and see it.
We'll definitely go.
We're not going to be waiting in line a few weeks before, but...
I remember when I saw the first one, and it was fun, and it was funny, and it was deep sometimes, and it was gorgeous.
I was totally blown away when I saw the first Star Wars, and it's movies like that that made me want to get into the business.
I'm a big fan of Star Wars, sure. I've seen all of them, and I'll see this one too.
I think it's going to be the hugest thing. The hugest thing. I mean, everyone in the world's going to go see it.
With Episode 1 safely back under lock and key, the stars will just have to wait. But these folks have already felt the Force.
Go see it as quick as you can.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to walk away disappointed from this movie. It is spectacular. I had a great time watching it, and I'm sure everyone else will too.
Whether you are 6 or 60, the Star Wars prequel is the talk of every town, and a special correspondent took our ET mic to get the buzz from the Hollywood stars.
Hi, I'm Hallie Eisenberg for ET with a special Star Wars Full Force report.
E.T. enlisted the aid of 6-year-old Cub reporter and Pepsi spokeskid Hallie Eisenberg at last weekend's Kids' Choice Awards. And faster than you can say lightsaber, she had the stars buzzing over the new movie.
Are you excited about the Star Wars movie?
Yes, I'm so excited because, you know, when I was your age, the first Star Wars came out. And that was my favorite movie in the world.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm in the movie. I play one of the aliens. I'm gonna be hiding under a rock the whole movie.
Who's that one who's in it? The new Luke Skywalker, the Scottish guy. I don't know. He's really cute. Ewan McGregor. He's a cutie. Watch out for him.
Hallie, who wasn't even born until 15 years after Star Wars was first released, played kid correspondent to the hilt.
Who's your favorite character from it?
Darth Vader. I love Darth Vader.
My favorite character, well, Han Solo.
I like Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He's a little kid. Do you want to marry him?
What?
You want to marry him?
You don't want to marry him?
You don't think he's cute?
Hallie handled her journalistic duties like a pro.
Good luck being under the rock.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I know I'll be there on opening day. This is Hallie Eisenberg reporting for E.T. May the Force be with you.
Ah, another sterling job. Thanks, Hallie. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is a dream come true for creator George Lucas. The entire look of the movie is a product of his incredible imagination and a lot of hard work.
It's one thing to be able to draw something on a piece of paper and another thing to actually make it three-dimensional and work in the real world.
From his top-secret design department at Skywalker Ranch to exotic locations around the world, George Lucas assembled the galaxy's most talented artists to turn his vision into a reality.
You feel that the movie's really a creation. It's a lot of artists coming together and working on it. It's not just, you know, a script and a couple of actors.
Even teen queen Natalie Portman was blown away by all the movie magic. Together, the prequel's team of effects artists, costume designers, musicians, and craftsmen has won more than 24 Academy Awards.
The design really includes the photography, the sets, and the costumes, and the props. So these elements all come together to create an atmosphere or a reality for the audience. And if they aren't right, then the audience isn't going to be in the picture.
Fear attracts the fearful. Fear is my ally.
As the classic battle between good and evil played out on location, Lucas turned to his costume department to help portray both the beauty and the barbarity of his galaxy far, far away.
Costumes in any kind of film are very important in defining the character and defining the culture and making things feel realistic. So the costumes are a very integral part in the overall design of the film.
I will take back what's ours.
Portman's costumes are not only stunning, but they actually helped her portray the regal leader of the besieged planet Naboo.
Well, being in the costumes themselves and having the strange makeup and hair really made me feel different. You feel like a different person. When you feel like a different person, it's easier to act like a different person. It also changes your movement. If you've got a big thing on your head, you have to walk straighter. You can't slouch like an American teenager. You have to stand straight like a queen so that it doesn't knock you over.
Well, she sure looks like a queen. Well, the first of his 3 Star Wars films in 1977 made Mark Hamill a huge star. So what's he been doing since his movie series ended? See if you can figure out this Star Wars E.T. Hollywood history. It had been 8 years since the premiere of his final Star Wars film, and E.T. was at home with the Hamills to talk about his success.
After the screening of Jedi, we got chased down the street, and it was exactly like out of Hard Day's Night. I mean, we were laughing because we thought, how stupid. If they catch us, what will they do? I have fond memories, but no desire to really go back and be doing them again.
Can you guess which year in E.T. Hollywood history this happened? Is it 1990, 91, or 1992? Your answer's next on the weekend edition of Entertainment Tonight.
Also coming up, Star Wars star Ewan McGregor. Leonard Maltin's inside conversation with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Bloody hell, you said to yourself, I'm in Star Wars.
The fan frenzy continues, and we have all the Star Wars toys and trinkets in the Entertainment Tonight cover story. What's out there? What's a collector's item? And how much cash are they really worth? More Phantom Menace behind the scenes. Meet the new computer-generated comic character as he gets into his costume. That's next.
Star Wars fans have been waiting a decade and a half for Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and every day closer to its debut makes them crazier and crazier.
We are the dorks of the century.
Get ready for the merchandising madness because a brand new batch of Star Wars toys have blasted into stores across America. The crowd went wild at FAO Schwartz to be the first to get their hands on the stuff. And here's a glimpse of what every kid will be clamoring for.
Oh yeah, Darth Maul. He's the bad guy with the double-edged lightsaber, and he's the one I'm coming here to see.
I'll take a heart attack if I have to get in time.
This is my first trip. I'm going to give it to a friend, come back to another trip, come back to another trip. I'll pay the credit card bills later. What do I care?
And buying is just what toy stores are counting on. with the hot new Lego set and everything from Darth Maul to the double-bladed lightsaber. Analysts predict spin-off sales could exceed $1 billion.
And nobody should sleep until Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, comes out.
The mania spread to Denver as a convention of worshipers decked out as their sci-fi favorites.
Harrison Ford, eat your heart out.
I'm from Tennessee. I'm from Minnesota.
You got heroes, you got princesses, you got evil dudes. I glued all those ones on his head. Here, let me point one at me.
I saw it at least 20 times at the theater when it first came out. I can remember going back home and building lightsabers out of golf tubes and flashlights, you know?
The Force hit the Big Apple as well as New Yorkers hunkered down and began the long wait for tickets.
Some of my friends do think it's a little over the top.
They understand I'm a Star Wars freak, and this is something I have to do.
And up next, the wild behind-the-scenes footage of the making of the film, featuring more than 1,000 costumes.
You look good in yours. You look fantastic.
Next on E.T.
It had been 8 years since the premiere of his final Star Wars film, and E.T. was at home with the Hamills to talk about his success. Which year in E.T. Hollywood history did this happen? It's 1991. Return of the Jedi premiered in 1983.
Our exclusive Star Wars Week coverage continues with a look at the unique fashions designed just for the film. E.T.'s Leonard Maltin takes you behind the scenes for the costumes that could only come from a galaxy far, far away.
When I initially saw the designs, I was like, wow, I have to do this.
As if its stunning special effects weren't enough, the Phantom Menace boasts a galaxy of majestic costumes that impress even the Jedi Knights.
I just think they're great costumes. I think Ewan looks fantastic in his.
You look good in yours. You look fantastic.
Yep, I think that looks good.
Writer-director George Lucas proclaims that this prequel has the most elaborate wardrobe of any film in his motion picture career, topping even his original epic.
On the first films, costumes were designed not to draw attention to themselves. In the new film, the costumes do draw attention to themselves. They have to because they're in a more sophisticated society. And to do that and keep it timeless is much more difficult. So this is red, and then this is red.
To create this cosmic couture, Lucas enlisted the aid of renowned costume designer Tricia Bigger, who assembled 50 of Hollywood's finest wardrobe artists to assist her.
When I first started in the film, we were going to have 3 costumes for the Queen. And as time went on, George decided that every time we saw the Queen, that she was going to have a different costume.
No, Your Highness.
There's so many changes for me because a queen can't wear the same outfit twice.
She travels, she goes to the Senate, and each one of those demanded a different type of costume.
And Portman's sci-fi frocks were only the beginning. The costume department labored for nearly a year to create dozens of dazzling designs, inspired by the ancient cultures of Europe, Asia, and Africa.
The look of the costumes taps into all these various cultures that we all subliminally recognize, you know? It's very clever. You still have much to learn, my young apprentice.
And while Jedi robes may seem relatively plain, Ewan McGregor insists they're a perfect fit.
It was extraordinary to stand in front of the mirror with all my wardrobe on and stuff. Because I was Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know, and it was quite a moment for a young man.
As the duo battles the dark side, they encounter an interstellar cast of thousands. Producer Rick McCallum told me each has its own distinct look.
You can't go to a wardrobe shop and rent costumes for this kind of movie. That was so apparent to us from the very beginning. What wasn't apparent to us was how many costumes we'd have to build. It ended up being about 1,100.
We've done 2 versions of this armor in different types of quilting.
To do individual costumes and do them in the thousands is a very, very difficult task. But I did want the military to have several different kinds of outfits, that the officers were different than the enlisted men, that the pilots were different than the troopers.
I will sign no treaty, Senator.
But among the alien hordes, Portman is the film's most stunning vision. She even appreciates the heavy headpieces.
It's good for, the effect of the film, as long as it doesn't, give me brain damage or anything. I'm all for it.
Thanks a lot, Leonard. And right now we have new material handed over straight from George Lucas himself, from candid moments behind the scenes with the stars to the latest alien faces to full-throttle scenes from the movie. Step into the world of Star Wars Episode 1, and what becomes clear is both a sense of wonder and a feeling of déjà vu.
George's tales, the Star Wars tales, have really tapped into a psyche in the world that popular culture has never done before.
Set 30 years before the original Star Wars, The Phantom Menace centers on Luke Skywalker's father, Anakin, played by child actor Jake Lloyd.
He's been a slave in his entire life on Tatooine, and now he has to leave his mom. She's been the only person that's there for him for his entire life.
I'm playing the mother of Anakin.
I ever see you again?
What does your heart tell you? She's very strong in a way because she really do believe in him and that he's gonna take the responsibility of his own life. So I think she's very brave in a way to let him go.
Anakin does leave and meets some wild new characters. One of the new faces he meets is sure to become an audience favorite, the computer-animated Jar Jar Binks, voiced by newcomer Ahmad Best.
There's never been a real comic character in any of the Star Wars movies, like just outright comic. The character of Jar Jar, he was banished from his world because he was clumsy. Jar Jar is going to be a character that everybody can relate to, especially the kids who feel like they don't fit in.
Will not condone a course of action that will lead us to war.
I think that playing the Queen would be inspiring, you know, to young girls.
As Queen Amidala of Naboo, Natalie Portman defends her planet against a galactic trade federation, and that inspired her to play a very powerful queen.
She really tries to do the best for her people. So I think it's a role model really for everyone, and it would be good for young girls to see a woman or girl leading.
But whether it's new characters or just younger versions of old favorites, the inhabitants of that galaxy far, far away are feeling the full force.
To walk onto a set and to be at that higher, watching it happen, looking around at all the people there, and the costumes, the enormity of the situations. I would really love to, you know, be in Star Wars, and it was the truth. And sometimes, you know, things that you want can happen. And this is one of those kind of dream come true kind of things.
These films are incredibly well made, but also it's tapping into a void that we have as human beings, that we have kind of lost something. We have lost an oral tradition of storytelling, of myths and legends.
In an interview for the new Red Book magazine, Liam suggested that his Star Wars appearance might be his last, but then maybe that's just a myth.
He says to me, you know what, Jeannie, I'm going to quit movie making. I think he still loves the art. And for that reason, I don't think he'll quit altogether, but I do think we may see Liam taking a bit of a vacation.
Coming up on E.T., George Lucas, the man behind Star Wars, sits down to answer your questions and share secrets from the film.
Here is the single most asked question, George.
Also, Star Wars star Ewan McGregor.
I was screaming. I realized, ah!
That's next.
It is warp speed ahead with our Star Wars Special Edition. The characters, the computer magic, the special effects secrets from behind the scenes on the set.
We won't build a whole set if we think we can create a 3D matte painting.
We're one-on-one with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Buy this one or anything else that looks like me.
And George Lucas answers the questions you sent to E.T.
Somebody said, are you going to do sequels?
From the toys to the tunes. It's everything you need to know and more about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
This is Entertainment Tonight, the most watched entertainment news program in the world.
Here are more of the Star Wars stories all of Hollywood is talking about with our full force coverage. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to this special weekend edition of Entertainment Tonight. I'm Bob Goen.
And I'm Julie Moran. Well, the force is definitely with Ewan McGregor in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Our Leonard Maltin sat down with a man better known as Obi-Wan.
Now, what's the name of this new movie you're in again?
I'm doing a movie called Eye of the Beholder. It's directed by Stephen Elliott, and oh, wait a minute, wrong junket. Star Wars.
Oh, right, Star Wars.
That's the one.
Right, that's the one.
Yeah.
We haven't much time.
As if anyone could forget, it sure wouldn't be Ewan McGregor. In perhaps the most highly anticipated film of all time, he's playing Obi-Wan Kenobi, the legendary character originated by Alec Guinness.
What's the best part of having been cast to play Obi-Wan Kenobi?
The idea of being in it in the first place, you know, and then to be on set in Jedi gear and with R2-D2 and stuff. I mean, every day there was a Star Wars moment where you went, bloody hell, you said to yourself, I'm in Star Wars.
Even his first trip to the props department was a magical experience.
We walked down there, and then there was R2-D2, and I was screaming. I realized, ah! Like that, because it was R2-D2. I mean, it was like meeting the Queen or something.
And it was there that Ewan carefully selected his trusty lightsaber.
I remember it as being a big wooden box with 2 padlocks on it, which he unlocked. And they said, are you ready? And I said, yeah, ready. And he opened it up, and there was like 9 or 10 different lightsaber handles. It was like going to buy a Ferrari and choosing which model you want, you know? Having the money in your pocket so you don't care about the money.
George Lucas made sure his Jedi Knights never ran out of their space-age weapons.
But there was one lightsaber maker who had this mobile lightsaber making unit thing, right, that wheeled about with all these poles and stuff. And he just made lightsabers, because as you're fighting, they get bent, and you have to have a constant supply of fresh lightsabers, you know?
And this Star Warrior worked overtime to make his battles look natural.
You can't be thinking about what comes next. When you're doing a fight like that, you can't think, well, I did that, so then he's coming over there, so you do that. You can't, you've got to just you're so connected with your opponent that you're just flowing, it's flowing. I hate myself for saying this. It's the nearest thing to the Force that you could imagine, was that.
Now, Ewan, the actor, is sure to become a force to be reckoned with himself. He's even starring on the cover of the next TV guide.
Are you in any way prepared to deal with what may happen now as the floodgates open?
I plan to carry on doing the same, you know, doing my work. And I can't prepare myself for that which I don't know.
Nor could he prepare himself for the sight of his very first action figure.
I still can't quite believe it's there, so I'm still in kind of denial about the whole thing. They're much more sophisticated than the ones I played with, aren't they?
Yes, there are more joints, more movement now. Yes, exactly.
What I would suggest to everyone watching your show is that they buy this one. When you go to the shop and you're buying toys, Star Wars toys, buy this one. Or anything else that looks like me.
I'll be sure to buy that one. Thanks a lot, Leonard. Ewan's not resting on his laurels. He's about to start filming Moulin Rouge with Nicole Kidman.
A lot of the acting that Ewan McGregor did in the film was with characters that were figments of the imagination. George Lucas was able to create a large portion of his fantasy world on computers. And now his right-hand man gives us the details of how it was done.
You'll believe them like you believe any other actor. You fall in love with them, you understand them, you believe every gesture that they have.
The fantastic fantasy world of the Phantom Menace is filled with computer-generated characters. According to producer Rick McCallum, all come from the creative genius of George Lucas.
He's been able to direct performances of digital characters that seamlessly interact with live actors at a level that's never been achieved before.
In that digital domain, the stars often acted opposite only the air, against a giant blue screen.
We had 3 actors, 3 principal actors, Liam, Ewan, and Natalie. And none of them, to my knowledge, had any experience working with blue screen. In fact, I don't think even Ewan McGregor had even seen a blue screen before he walked on the set of Star Wars. It didn't take long for them to get used to it. And now I know Ewan loves it.
2 scenes in the film, the pod race and the climactic battle sequence, were filmed entirely without actors. The computer also allowed the filmmakers to create those out-of-this-world sets.
For example, we won't build a whole set if we think we can create a 3D matte painting that can achieve something for 75% less cost and create an illusion that no amount of money in the world would allow us to build.
There are things I cannot do. Run, hide,
ignore.
Anticipation for the prequel has reached such a fever pitch that 4 television commercials already airing have been placed on the official Star Wars website to satisfy demands for anything Star Wars.
Dreams do come true, don't they?
One question that Rick's often asked by frenzied fans is, will we ever see original characters such as Harrison Ford's Han Solo or Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia in the future prequels?
That is the million-dollar question. I would give anything to know that. Because I want to see the script for the next one so badly. I need it. But he's in the middle of writing it. I don't think that'll happen in episode 2, but episode 3, you never know.
And action! One person you can count on making a return, to the director's chair that is George.
I think he enjoyed the first one so much that why not? He's created the world, and so far he's never been wrong.
The Phantom Menace has been a nearly 5-year labor of love for the filmmakers, but there won't be much time to savor the blockbuster's surefire success.
Basically, the day this film opens, the production designer and I will be gone. We'll be scouting locations for episode 2.
At the top of the ET News Brief. Premiere Magazine's power list of the top 100 movers and shakers in Hollywood hits newsstands next Friday. The top actress is Pretty Woman Julia Roberts at number 33, while superstar Tom Hanks is the top actor at number 11. Who's number 1? News Corp's Rupert Murdoch. The June issue also features many of Tinseltown's top actors at the Show West photo shoot, and only E.T. was invited to strike a pose with the stars.
I'm beautiful.
I don't like you.
Premiering Sunday night is the 2-part NBC movie The Hunt for the Unicorn Killer. Tom Skerritt stars in the true-life story as the father whose daughter was brutally murdered, but the killer remains free to this day.
I found all of this very interesting.
Lisa Gibbons turns cover girl for the June issue of American Health magazine on newsstands 2 weeks from Tuesday. The super busy mother of 3 says the secret of her success is simple.
I love my chocolate, and I can't do without it.
Next on E.T., George Lucas answers the questions you asked him.
It is revealed in episode 1, Sean.
All the fans from our E.T. website. That's next. Waiting for.
Here is the single most asked question, George. The number 1 question out of the 5,000. Bill asks, when can we expect to see the Star Wars trilogy released on DVD?
We've been kind of waiting on the DVD because I've been trying to make sure that the DVD is the ultimate repository of the Star Wars saga. And primarily what we're trying to do is wait until I have all 6 of them before we release them on DVD.
Sean wants to know, will Anakin Skywalker's father's identity be revealed in episode 1?
Well, Anakin's father's identity is complicated, and it is revealed in episode 1, Sean.
Todd says, it's been mentioned in other interviews that 9 episodes were created. 1 through 3 are about Anakin, then 4 through 6 are about Luke. Who are episodes 7 through 9 about, and will they ever be made? That's Todd.
7 through 9 really came about when I was on one of these press junkets and somebody said, are you going to do sequels? And I said, well, you know, I have these prequels and stuff, but I'm not sure I'll ever do sequels. And they said, oh, you should do sequels. And I said, well, maybe someday I'll do sequels. And so that's how 7 through 9 came to be. There was never a script or a story, so I haven't the vaguest idea what would happen in 7 through 9. And I really don't think they'll ever get made because I would be like 90 years old by the time I got them finished.
Peter says, if you could go back in time to the 70s, what advice would you give yourself?
I'm not sure what I'd do if I had to go back to the 70s. I actually feel very lucky that I had such a positive life experience, especially in the 70s, especially when I was in school in the 60s and the 70s. You know, I could never imagine the path that life has given me. I would have never expected to be here where I am.
Michael says, with the Lucas empire being as big as it is, do you ever find it personally overwhelming?
Well, Michael, the empire was a bit overwhelming in the 80s when I had to try to rearrange it and make it work. Now it pretty much works and I don't have to deal with it very much. And I may go back and do that when I finish the Star Wars series. I've also got a couple of TV shows that I've become interested in. And, the Young Indiana Jones experience, I loved it a great deal, and I'd like to go back and do a little bit more of that.
What a blast it was to sit there and talk to George, of course, and to ask him your questions. But the funniest thing he told me is that his own kids wanted to send questions to us online. I said we would have considered them. We're not prejudiced, no problem there. It was really
I really want to know. We see the film Monday. What did you really think of the film?
I had a good time. Yeah. I had a good time. I think that people who are fanatics and who are building this up as if it's the second coming, I have to remind themselves it's just a movie. Right. And it is not an in-your-face movie. It's not Armageddon. It's not Con Air with explosions from minute one. It's a Star Wars movie, and I think it fits the rest of the films very well.
Okay, great. Right. Thanks a lot, Leonard. And we'll have more from Leonard's meeting with Star Wars creator George Lucas. Coming up, Leonard's interview with George about his own kids, how he chose the cast, and what's in store for the Star Wars future. That's next.
Who holds the record for most lead actress Emmys for a single series? Is it Candice Bergen, Mary Tyler Moore, or Tyne Daly? Your answers next in the Entertainment Tonight Weekend Birthdays.
Closed captioning.
One of the most anticipated movies of all time, One Man. George Lucas created Star Wars Episode 1, directed it, and wrote it. Now Leonard Maltin continues his total Star Wars coverage with an in-depth interview for the details.
How do you see yourself?
Well, I see myself as a father who struggles every day to raise his kids, and as a filmmaker who works every day very hard to make a cinematic experience for people. Those are my main focuses.
For George Lucas, the job of being both parent and filmmaker often merge. The single dad is raising 3 kids. The youngest, Jet, is 6.
Do you think that being a parent all over again has affected your approach to this film?
In terms of being able to see it through my son's eyes, especially because he's 6 and he's a boy, and that definitely has affected me because I can now see it through his eyes.
Now, does that put you more in tune with the child inside yourself, you think?
Having kids puts me in a good mood. I guess being happier, I write a happier kind of script.
Is it true that your son, when he was younger, came up with the term Gungan?
Yeah, I started writing this 4 years ago when he was 2, and he would always point to trucks and large moving equipment thing and calls it Gunga. There's a Gunga, there's a Gunga. And I said, well, that's a good name. So I wrote that down. So we named the race Gungans.
How do you come up with your names?
My daughter named a few of the ancillary characters for me. She'd sit in my office while I was writing. And then, you know, even the lower ones, people in the various departments, some of them in the sound department, some of them over at ILM, some of them in the licensing department come up with names because I just can't think of names for every single thing on the planet.
There are some new names in The Phantom Menace, like Qui-Gon Jinn, played by Liam Neeson, and there are some classics like Obi-Wan Kenobi, played here by Ewan McGregor.
I want to ask you about casting the principals in this movie. What was it that said to you, Ewan McGregor, he's the right guy?
Ewan is strong and he's witty and you know, he's a very good actor. I thought he'd be perfect for Obi-Wan.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman, I was looking for somebody very strong. You know, she plays a 14-year-old girl who is an elected official and rules her planet.
Liam Neeson.
He's the perfect Jedi. It's one of those things that when he's there, it's sort of like Harrison Ford. You just can't think of anybody else in that role. He was born to play this role.
Of course, The Phantom Menace is just chapter 1 in this 6-chapter epic.
What are we going to be looking forward to in the second chapter?
It's mostly a love story between Anakin and somebody.
And the third?
And the third is even more of a departure. It's pretty dark, pretty serious, pretty down, pretty intense. I mean, I think it's going to be the most fun to do because it's got the most drama in it.
And for the fans, some of whom started lining up weeks ago for tickets, Lucas promises a great show.
What do you make of this fanaticism about your movie? It goes beyond fandom.
I think what's happened is you see a very innocent kind of movie in a very cynical time. And I think people simply want to have something nice. This is the fun. This is kind of the Woodstock. This is kind of the, let's just forget everything and just have a good time.
Thanks a lot, Leonard. And if you see George Lucas on the street, be careful what you say. It may end up in the next Star Wars movie. George told Leonard he always has a notepad with him to write down interesting sounds he hears.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is not just a movie, it is a merchandiser's dream. From the stars on soda cans to countless toys, tie-ins from the film will soon be taking over the world. And now we look at their financial force in the Entertainment Tonight cover story. Tiger Electronics, Applause Toys, and Hasbro, which made the director a shareholder just for the right to produce their Star Wars line.
That's certainly an indication that Lucas expects his marketing partners to do quite well, that he would be interested in owning the stock of the company.
Pepsi paid an astronomical $2 billion to join the Phantom Force, and they will sell soda cans featuring the film's cast of characters.
$2 billion is quite a lot of money to cough up for a movie tie-in license, particularly in light of the fact that movie licensing has not done very well for marketers in recent years. The last 2 summers have been very thin. None of the movies have really produced marketing blockbusters.
But Star Wars isn't just any movie, and the toys aren't just for kids.
The main market for this stuff is really going to be the people who were kids when the first Star Wars movie came out.
It's the serious collectors that beef up the bottom line, investing in Star Wars wares like some people invest in fine art.
Some people are like heavy hitters, and they'll spend anything to get these figures.
Wade LaJose is one such devotee. He's been building his collection since he was 10.
I first started collecting back when the first movie came out. From then, it's just grown into what I have today. Money-wise, I don't even want to think about that. But some of the pieces that I've acquired in my collection have cost me several thousands of dollars. Probably could have bought a house. Yeah.
One of the most rare items in Wade's collection is this action figure of an adult Anakin Skywalker that was only sold outside the United States.
I've heard rumors of people offering up to $7,000 for that action figure.
It seems like a stellar investment, but don't start stashing away Phantom merchandise just yet.
It's hard to know in advance how many of the toys will go on to be really lucrative collector's items.
Now here's another way that the new Star Wars will affect money matters across America. The Wall Street Journal reports that some businesses are shutting down on May 19th. That's the movie's opening day, so that their employees can go see it.
Coming up on E.T., the Star Wars video. The movie scenes, the dramatic music, the official song from the film. That's next.
Of course, no Star Wars movie would be complete without that incredible Star Wars music, and Episode 1 is no different. So we're saying goodbye tonight with the Star Wars music video called Duel of the Fates.